What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Welcome back into JC's Pop Culture with me, JC, where you can see all kinds of pop culture content. But today, coming with some more EA Sports college football news. Got a few, small updates today, kind of little news tidbits before kind of the big release that I think will be coming over the next few days. We'll talk more about that throughout. Some people that got to see the game, things like that. Got some coverage on that. Got some new images that came out today. Got a new video clip that came out today I wanted to showcase. But mainly for the most part, just kind of ahead of the bigger news, just kind of wanted to chat with you guys, get some of your all's questions, your all's thoughts on all the shit that came out today or anything that you got lingering before, we get our next bit of news. I'll try and answer that shit, to the best of my ability. So throw it in the chat there if you got any questions, comments, concerns. Otherwise, what's going on, guys? How's it going? Got a few people in here I see already. Justin Crean, there's been a new leak of the Play Now screen. Where's that at, Justin Crean? Have you seen? Can you drop a link in the chat? I'll try and pull it up on the stream. If so, I haven't seen that one yet. Orlando, I'm hyped too, bro. Good to see you in here again as always, man. Me too. I actually, started speaking of getting hype. Officially, this stream is actually not only on the YouTube channel, but it's on the newly created JC's Pop Culture Twitch channel as well. I'll try and drop the link right there for that in the chat if you guys want to go follow that, because the plan is hopefully once the got to come to the audio there. Hold on one second. Let me mute that. But the plan is to hopefully start doing some streams over there once the game comes out, guys. I'm going to be, doing some live streams over there, dipping my toe into it. Never done any streaming before, but getting prepared today. Got the PlayStation in here, got the monitor in here for it, everything ready. I got the capture card coming in, supposed to be in this weekend. Once it gets in, I might do some test stream using Madden or something. But yeah, as you can see, the PlayStation's in here and shit. There's my Superman controller, and then of course you guys already know, as I got super close to the mic, hoping it blare 0. Oh, of course, my camera wants to mess up now. Hold on, guys. Might just switch out the battery real quick. I'm still here. Just lost the camera. Let me pull up some comments here while I try and get it situated. Of course. Speaking of getting new things, I need to get this issue fixed here that I've been having with this camera cord. There we go. Now we're back. But anyways, as I was saying, I'm going to switch that out. But got the PS5 in here now. Got the WVU controller as well. Y'all saw the Superman, saw the WVU. That's my two babies right there. I wish they were custom controllers, but they're not. They're just skinnets, poorly put on. The West Virginia ones got a shit ton of creases. And the Superman one looks pretty good because my wife did it. She did a better job than me. But that's the plan. Going to hopefully do some streams for College Football 25 when it comes out. The live portion of them will be up on Twitch. And then I'll probably clip them and edit some and put them up here on the YouTube as well. Definitely that's in the cards, though, so I wanted to mention that. Like I said, I shared the link there in the chat. Hopefully you guys saw it. But definitely, head over there, give that a follow as well, in addition to the YouTube here. But so in addition to not only covering news on the game and shit, I'm going to try and, share some gameplay, share some streaming, maybe have a nice little road to glory going with JC and stuff like that. So it'll be some fun stuff to do along with that as well. If I can, get it up and going right. Like I said, we're going to test it out once that capture card comes in, maybe do a little Madden or something just to run a test stream. But just trying to get everything set up and ready before July. That's been what I've been doing today. Hopefully you guys had a good day, man. I had the day off work, so I got that done. Got some shit done around the house. So been a good day overall. And, saw, some new leaks of images and videos. It's the main reason I wanted to stream, but also just kind of wanted to chat with you guys ahead of what seems like it's going to be some more news. So we'll talk about that momentarily. But let me catch up on some of your all's comments real quick, and then we'll dive into that new news. Justin Crean said it's on Twitter. I'll try to see if I can find it on there. Justin Crean. I got see if I can pull up new Twitter right here. What's this? Sorry about that. Somebody was calling me. I had to make sure it wasn't anything important. Looks like a telemarketer. Let me pull up my Twitter real quick, see if I see it on there. Oh, okay. Via CFB Reddit, CFB Intel, put it on there. Let's go ahead and share that because this is brand new, like live news right there. Thank you, Justin Crean. Appreciate you. Shout out to Justin Crean for putting me on this. Of course, it breaks as soon as I go live, so I didn't have it pulled up, but at least I was able to get it pulled up quick because of that. A leaked Play Now screen in College Football 25. And this is interesting that this would come out now if it is a potential leaked screen because it kind of jives with, people being there and seeing and getting to play the game and stuff. Maybe somebody snapped a pic, and it is a low quality image and shit. So, but as you can see, it's on a monitor screen, USF and UCF matched up. Definitely looks different than anything I've seen. I never played revamped or anything, so I don't know if it's similar to those screens or not. But somebody just took the time and made that to try and fool everyone. They really went all out, because you can even see, looks like the menu buttons at the bottom and stuff as well. So there's something breaking for sure. Appreciate that, Justin Green. Wanted to share that now since that just came out. And that shout out to EA College Football Intel on Twitter at CFB25 News if you want to look at the one I just shared there. But awesome. So a good start to this shit. All right, now let's dive in on some comments, and then we'll get to the other news that came out, the stadium images, stadium in-game stadium footage, and, of course, the news of the people that got to see the game. So let's get to some of that here momentarily. But Zachary Branham, what's going on, bro? Appreciate you, man. Hopping in here again. Good to see you as well. Love all the content so far for this game. He says, keep it up. Hey, man, appreciate those kind words and shit. That means a lot. Definitely going to keep it up. Ton of news going to be coming out for this game, and I'm going to be covering it all, hopefully in detail. Hopefully they give us deep dives of each mode, deep dives of gameplay, and I'm going to do, maybe a separate stream for each or separate video for each. And then, like I said, hopefully get into some, playing the game myself and getting a stream on here with you guys as well. Jay Hopkins said, just saw the backside of the steel case. A great segue, actually. Continue to drop your all's comments and stuff. Hey, what's up, Mario? See you in here too, bro. As always, appreciate you, man. But Jay Hopkins with a great segue into one of the things I wanted to talk about, because you guys know I did a video on the channel, about it when I first saw the news after I had pre-ordered my own copy of the Steelbook, because you guys know I was bitching that the only physical media was the standard edition. I think a lot of people were upset about that, mainly just because you can't get the early access if you don't get the digital version. I usually don't buy digital shit, so like I said, I had to kind of go against my morals and shit, but I still wanted to get some copy of the game physically to at least collect. And so when I seen Walmart had that Steelbook, I sprung, pre-ordered it, and then of course dropped the video, but without even seeing what it looked like. But now we've got the first kind of official images of what it may look like. Shout out to Jay Hopkins for providing the great segue there. But this is from, if I could find this right one there, Everything EA College Football here on Twitter. I'll look at the exclusive Walmart Standard Edition Steelbook, which, as we expected, same, cover, but it's kind of like the image is stretched over to the back, and you see this is the back part of the Steelbook there. And, of course, if you don't know Steelbooks, which I collect them in movies and shit. I put out a Beetlejuice trailer reaction on the channel today. And if you look in the background of it, I'll put the Beetlejuice Steelbook actually in the background for that video. So that's kind of what, a typical Steelbook looks like. That's probably what this will look like. It's just a metal case essentially, but who knows if they'll have something else additional inside. I'm guessing not, because it's pretty much the same price point at $70, just a Walmart exclusive, but still pretty cool to have and collect. And maybe I'll add it to the background here when it comes in. But up close, of course, we know that that's the front cover. And then, of course, when you go to the back, that's what it'll be there. You see on the spine, the EA Sports College Football 25 at the top, and the Bring Glory Home, which I guess is their kind of tagline for the game this year that they've been using there on the back. And, of course, the football Quinn Ewers is holding kind of stretches across the spine and across the back as well. So there's a look at the Steelbook cover. Now has been revealed and stuff. Definitely wanted to cover that here. That's one of the things for sure. Take a swig of my water, catch up on some of your all's comments here. All right. Going good, Orlando, man. I am too. That when that news came out yesterday, the Mike Straw news, or was that day before yesterday or whatever? Last time I did a stream, can't remember when that was. I think it was day before yesterday. But when they covered that, and the big thing that came out to me from there was custom playbooks, because I was just had my fingers crossed because they had been pretty mum about it, and I was like, God, they got to have it. I don't know why they wouldn't. But getting confirmation of that was big for me, because I've talked about that, Orlando. That's the first thing I'm going to do. I think you said that's the first thing you're going to do too when you dive in, is make you a nice custom playbook. Spend a few hours getting that right, especially with all the new formations and plays they're going to have in this. It's probably going to be a lot of fun on this one. Hold on one second, guys. All right. Everybody wants to call me while I'm streaming. Yeah, I know, Orlando. We mentioned that on the last stream. Shared his tweets when he said he was heading down there. Just didn't know who else was there, but there were several people that got to go and play the game. I want to share that too momentarily. Orlando said he's doing a franchise relocation in Madden to test out the air raid offense. Hey, I feel you there. I feel you there. Just try and get your feet wet a little bit. That's what I'm going to play a little bit of this Madden, I guess, just to try and get my feet wet with the streaming personally, even though I'm not the biggest fan of Madden 24. I tried to play when it first came out. Hadn't played it really since, but I'll fire it back up, just to try and get ready for July and try and get this streaming setup working. Jay Hopkins says, did I order it online? Did they send it to you? Yes, and yes. I'm sure you could actually have it shipped to your Walmart for pickup, but I've got it, shipping directly to my house. The only thing is with that version is I think the earliest it would let me get it was like July 21st or 23rd. So it's like a week after, the regular version comes out, or not the regular version, but the early access anyways, because, that's on the 16th with the deluxe. Of course, the official release on the 19th. So still just a few days after that. But, I went ahead and got the MVP bundle digitally. So I get that early access, and then wanted that to collect. So ordered it, and it's got it shipping to my house like somewhere in the 20th. I want to say 23rd is when it said, but somewhere in there. Flexbone triple option with the play action pass. Buckman said, hey, sounds lethal, man. Sounds lethal. You guys know I'm an option guy. But speaking of something Orlando had said here about Matt Brown being in Orlando. Funny enough there, no pun intended. But let's talk a little bit about some of the people that got to go to Orlando, got to play the game and shit. I'm going to share some of their tweets. So these were some of the people. Let's start with, Matt Brown, of course, the big one that we all know of. Has been, doing a great job keeping us up to date with updates on this game. When nobody else knew shit about it, he was the one, getting the FOIA requests and all that. But here on his Twitter, he says, confession, I came to Florida for an EA Sports event about the video game. I played it today, interviewed developers, and got loads of info, but I can't share it yet. I promise I will share everything as soon as I am allowed. Stay tuned. And you see his picture there. Seems like they set up all kinds of like lockers for all the individual, people that they invited up there to see the game with kind of their, I guess, favorite team or maybe their alma mater, whatever, I guess, in there as in the posters and shit. But you see, of course, there's his badge even with the EA College Football 25 logo and the Madden logo. So Matt Brown, of course, was in Orlando. And then also we had Chris Vanini in Orlando says, I've played the game. All the details coming soon. He's a reporter for The Athletic, I believe is where he's a reporter for, if I'm not mistaken. See him there outside of the headquarters. And here he shows his locker as well with the Michigan State poster. He shows the college football logo. And he says and specifies, cannot show you gameplay, but will share everything from my experience in the near future. And there is a lot with that in all caps. So like I said, guys, next couple of days or so, I think we're going to get a lot of news about this game. But then we also had, a couple of others that have put out tweets about being there since then. One of those being Bud Elliott, who covers college football. I know the Cover 3 podcast. You see there, he put his locker up with the Florida State sign. There's another reporter that was there, Justin Corey, with the Washington one there. So a ton of people have seen this, which then leads to the questions. Okay, so when exactly are you guys going to be able to drop the info? Because there's been embargoes and shit in place for a lot of this stuff. So Matt Brown put this out. He said, I don't think I'm supposed to say exactly when I can reveal everything, but he said, think May, not June. So we know we're 7-8 days away from the end of May. So, we're talking not too distant future. We're going to be hearing this stuff. Personally, I think by probably next Thursday. Seems like Thursday's been kind of a day where we've been getting little tidbits. So I'd say by this time next week, we should probably hear something. Maybe what I'm expecting is hopefully this weekend or by this weekend, we'll get to hear from some of the people that saw the gameplay and stuff. And then hopefully by this time next week, we'll get to see the gameplay for ourselves and EA put out a video on it or something. That's what I'm personally thinking maybe they're going to do, how they're going to leak that out. But you never know. And then just to kind of coincide right with that, Mike Strahl, who put out all that great news for a couple of days ago, who had some info on the gameplay because he had seen a clip of the game. He didn't get to play it like these people did in Orlando, but he also kind of confirms the same. He said, expect first batch of news to come by next week for those who were in Orlando. And of course, he's trying to get information in the meantime as well, but definitely kind of goes right in hand with what I was saying there. Probably by next week, get some good info there. And then also today, of course, I think, who was it? I saw put it up here. Orlando saw the Texas Stadium. Yes, a great clip that came out today. If you guys haven't seen this shit yet, I'm going to let it play as I talk here as soon as I find it again. No, I had it pulled up here. There it is. Because there's no audio to it. But you can see this from the Texas Longhorns account, 100 days until the season starts, but we'll see y'all here July 19th. Tag EA Sports College and give a whole 21-second video showcasing their stadium here. So check this out if you guys haven't seen this. Looks pretty good, especially being where it is. It's awesome. You kind of feel like a fan, in a fan's POV in the stadium, and you're not, in the lower seat. You're up in the nosebleeds, but you can see still detail on these fans, even this high up in the stands. That's pretty good. That shows how in depth they went with all of these, all the way up to the top levels here of the stadium. And you can see even behind, some of the buildings that you can see in kind of the skyline behind the stadium are featured there. So that's pretty cool. Probably, whatever buildings are behind your favorite university stadium or nearby, you'll probably be able to see some of those rendered. It seems like they really went into a lot of good detail with this. As we scroll back through, of course, you see the video board in all its glory. Looks great. There's no players or anything on the field in this clip. It's just the stadium itself. You can see some on the sidelines there. Then you can see some cheerleaders and stuff as well. But I wanted to talk like upper deck up there. You see they have like the visitor section colors and stuff there, a small detail of that as well. So seems like a pretty detailed clip here from this one look at a stadium we get to see kind of in live action here with this footage. So that was a pretty neat drop that kind of Texas shared today, I'm sure, with EA Sports' approval probably. And then after that, just to kind of see something you really couldn't see that much because it's kind of so far away, but here's a zoomed in picture of it. This is from, the same person that shared that leaked Play Now screen that I shared earlier in the stream, EA College Football Intel here on Twitter. But the detail of the Texas Stadium, you can see the outline of the Texas State in the grass there, around the Longhorn logo even. That's pretty cool. So that's kind of the level of detail that they went into for this shit, guys. I think it's going to be really impressive. I really do. So we had that. Take a swig of my water, and then I'm going to pull up these other images that we got, which I think that these are actually, kind of similar to the ones we had when they showed that Missouri images of those stadiums, a couple months or so ago, put out a video on the channel talking about it. This is like a pre-alpha stage, so this isn't even final product, but still pretty cool look and still shows you kind of the detail that they're going with. And if you're a LSU fan, hopefully you've seen this, if I could spit that out right. But this is, of course, kind of the inside of their stadium. Like I said, this, as you can tell, the crowd doesn't look as detailed as the one we just saw. That's kind of how one of the ways you can tell this is kind of like a beta or alpha version of the game when it's in its early stages. But even there, you see, the cameramen and stuff on the sideline. You see the ref there. See the LSU goalpost, their scoreboard rendered with their national champions on the left, their SEC champions on the right there. And then, of course, the colors throughout the stadium there, the purple and gold. So you see pretty good detail there. And then you see the field here as well. I think that's what looks really, spot on down to, the colors in the end zones, the eye in the middle of the field, the SEC logos. I like the alternating colors of their end zone. One, the gold with the purple outline, the purple with the gold outline looks really good. So love to look at that picture as well. That's kind of the in-game footage and in-game images that we got, shared today. So I wanted to talk about that. And then the only other thing that I had in addition to, of course, I want to share a little bit about Kirk Herbstreit. Had another appearance and he gave some comments on the game. I'll share that clip. It's about 3 minutes. But before I do that, in case you guys didn't see, this is pretty cool. I don't know if anybody in here is going to be a Vandy fan necessarily in this stream currently, but if you're all watching this on the playback and shit, and you are, pretty cool because Vanderbilt Stadium is currently being renovated. So people were wondering which version of their stadium would be in the game, and it's going to be their new renovated version, guys. So take a look at this shit. That's going to be cool to play at Vandy now when you look at that, because that's going to be rendered in the game there. These images aren't from the game. These are from, Vanderbilt's future renderings of what they want their stadium to look like after construction. But this is what EA Sports used to create their stadium in the game, is the renderings of this here. So you see that, the cool video board in the corner on the one we just saw, and then this here with the nice video board and the boxes and stuff down below. That's going to be really sweet looking on the game. So I wanted to share that as well, that's going to be included in the game too. All right, now let me catch up on some of your all's comments, and then we'll share that Kirk Herbstreit clip and then catch up on your all's comments one more time, and then we'll get ready to wrap this one up. Didn't want to make this one too lengthy. Like I said, not a shit ton of news, just some really cool images, some cool footage. But really, we're just waiting on everyone that saw the game today to start coming out and start speaking about stuff, and that's when we'll really have some juicy stuff to talk about, probably on the next stream, which I'm hoping is in the next few days here. But, wanted to really just chat with you guys, answer some of your questions, all that. So let me do some of that right now before I share that clip from Kirk. Orlando says he has a question about the game will be similar to Madden 24, like gameplay wise, but more faster. I don't think that really the only thing that I think similar to it, like Madden 24 wise, will just be the engine, because I think that's one of the good details that came out with, the Mike Straw report was that, something I didn't even think about or realize is that this is the first, EA football game, or I guess, one of the first EA sports games in general to be made strictly only for, this generation consoles, because, Madden and stuff was still made for PS4 and, previous Xbox. This is strictly made for PS5, Xbox Series X and S. So, it's going to be a lot different, I think, in a lot of aspects. And I think, especially with the gameplay, I think it's going to feel a lot faster than Madden. I really do. The college games always felt more fast paced. I think they're done a lot to make this one feel that way with the campus IQ and all that shit that they've added. You mentioned Mike Straw talking about the option offense and how it moved. And I think also you're going to have differences as far as a ton of different plays that you probably don't have in Madden, and formations you don't have in Madden. And then, of course, not even to go along with that, the pageantry that kind of adds to the gameplay to separate it. But I'm really hoping, personally, the one thing that I haven't heard yet that I'm really waiting to see on, and I'm waiting on pins and needles and shit for, is to find out if there's going to be superstar abilities or X factors in this game, because I'm hoping they keep that shit out of it. You guys saw my wish list. I'd love to see them go back to the old impact players from, the early, PS2 days of the NCAA football series and shit. And then you were able to select those impact players and change them, each season. That was cool. I would be fine with that. And then they just get in the zone and you have your impact players in the zone. Hope they keep the abilities out of it. Haven't heard anything on that yet. So waiting to see on that one, but I think it will feel significantly different and probably a lot faster, Orlando, for sure. Jay Hopkins said he's getting the same set. Hey, I don't blame you. Don't blame you one bit. I need them to drop that team builder site ASAP, said State of the Franchise Gaming. Yeah, I was hoping they would drop it, coming up in June. But sounds like, unless there's a change, according to that Mike Straw stream that he did, which I shared in the last stream here on JC's Pop Culture, it seems like early July. So, probably first week of July, we'll get that team builder released. So at least you'll have a couple weeks, though, before the game comes out to work some shit out, make up some good teams and stuff like that. It'll be a lot of fun. I'll be diving into it, just to see how it looks. This first version is probably not going to be as detailed as a lot of people are hoping for. But I think in the future, it's going to be super detailed. But I think it's going to give you enough, more so than you get probably on any other, created team on a football game. So I definitely think it's going to still bring back those, nostalgic and good vibes once they launch that team builder website. I'm waiting on it too. I appreciate you hopping in here, State of the Franchise Gaming. Buckman says, thanks for the streams. This keeps us somewhat sane while we pass the time. Exactly. That's one of the reasons I was like, because I had, just those little pieces of news. I could have just did, another pre-recorded video, but I was like, man, everybody else probably wanting to at least, chat about this stuff a little bit and try and, hold us over till we finally learn about more news from this game. So I was like, let's see if anybody wants to hop on here and chat live. And I appreciate you being one of those people, Buckman, everybody else in here as well. You guys always do a great job interacting on these streams. So I'm really appreciative of that. And hopefully that continues. If this is your first time hopping in here, even if you're watching this on a playback, be sure to subscribe here if you're a fan of the EA Sports College football game. Going to be putting out a ton of content as the news comes out for it. And then, once it starts, once release of the game happens, going to be doing some gameplay stuff. Be releasing clips here on YouTube, but then live streams will be over on the Twitch, the newly created Twitch channel, which I linked in the chat there. But this just same name as the YouTube channel, JC's Pop Culture, if you want to find it there. Appreciate you guys, though. Supposedly the matchup menu is floating around. Yeah, Patty, see, you saw that. I shared it in here earlier. Let me share it one more time in case some people popped in here late. This is rumor. Who knows if this is legit, but I just think it's kind of interesting, the timing of it coming out, knowing that we do have people that have played the game, so it is possible. But this is the leaked potential, play now matchup screen, select your team screen, whatever you want to call it there. And it's showing a USF and UCF matchup. What USF's ratings look like, they would be probably around what they would be. And like I said, it's not a matchup screen I've seen before, so could be legit. Could also be someone, just created an image and threw it onto, photoshopped all this shit together and put it on their screen. You never know, but it does have, the menu buttons at the option, so they really went all out if they did that. But like I said, take this with a grain of salt, because if this is exactly real, but this is, potential rumor play now screen as well. Appreciate you, Patty C, as well, hopping in here as always. JB says, will coaches have in-game and recruiting skills like NCAA 14? I'm hoping so. It seems like, from what they've said so far, because, when what little bit of information they've given us about Dynasty officially, it says something about establishing your coaching staff. So I think that probably means you're still going to be able to hire a coordinator and defensive coordinator. And if they still have the ability to do that, I don't think they would take away the trees and shit like in 14. But we also know the real coaches aren't going to be in this game, so it's probably going to be generic coaches across the board, except for the ones that we create. But either way, as long as they bring back the skill trees and shit, I think that's what everybody's really more concerned with, because that made it a lot of fun. So hopefully it's still in there. I'm expecting it to be, JB. We'll see for sure, though. Hopefully find that out in the next couple of days. Kenny, I do. I'm not 100% sure, so I don't want to say for certain, but I'm kind of expecting it. Like I kind of said there, with them saying being able to establish your coaching staff, I would think you would still have the ability to be a coordinator and climb up. But if not, hopefully that means that if they make us be a head coach, that we have more power as far as maybe not only coordinators, but maybe position coaches as well. Because, they are going more in depth and shit, it seems like, on this one. So you never know. Maybe they'll give us that ability even and take it a step further. But I'm hoping so. I'm hoping so, Kenny. Orlando, someone needs to check if mascot mashup mode is in the game, and everybody's freaking out about that one, man. But I'm going to be honest. Once I read that ESPN article, a few days ago, same day that the trailer dropped and we did the stream here, and we went through, that ESPN article a little bit, and they detailed, that not all mascots were going to get to be in this version of the game. I was like, mascot mashup's probably not going to be in this one. And then, Mike Straw saying he didn't think it was in. So I don't think it's going to be in this one, but, everybody's dying to find that one out too. That's one thing everybody's waiting on for sure. Gordon Smith said, my niece just got accepted to WVU, so I'll start a dynasty with them after UVA, of course. Hey, Gordon, that's awesome. Congratulations to your niece. I'm hyped for that. I'm a big WVU fan, and I'm ready to see that, and get to play with them on this game. I'll be starting a dynasty with them too. Speaking of that, before I share that video from Kirk, this is just something fun. This isn't let me preface this by saying this isn't an image from the new game, but this is just something cool from Revamp that I saw somebody did. They already got the new West Virginia uniforms on the college football Revamped, which maybe gives us a preview of what they'll look like on the new one, because I'm sure they submitted these to EA. But WVU changing their uniform set this year. So that's kind of, the new set. And then that's the black Coal Rush uniforms, which fingers crossed are going to be on the game. They just unveiled those recently. And, of course, the white one with the alternate logo on the helmet. Added the stripes to the pants and the stripes to the shoulders, kind of nods to old school uniforms and shit. I'm liking this WVU uniform set a lot, so I just had to share those pictures just for my own sake as a WVU fan. And since Gordon gave me a great transition and shit to do so, but appreciate that, Gordon. Appreciate your comment. And hey, congratulations to your niece. I'm gonna have to do a dynasty with WVU too. And I know Patty was talking in the comments on one of my videos where I mentioned it might have been on my last live stream when I mentioned Pat White and Steve Slayton on the past games being cheat code and stuff. I think that WVU is going to be under one of those underrated teams that people start using on this game, because they got a really good quarterback and dynamic duo at running back. 3 guys all ran for over 700 yards last year, one of them being the quarterback. And you got a chance to have that same explosiveness that the Pat White Slayton days did, because you got that fast quarterback, and Jaheim White's going to be a really fast running back. And CJ Donaldson, he's a beast, 240 pounds. So you got a little bit of thunder lightning there too. So, look out for WVU if you're looking for, a sleeper team to play with. And Gordon's a smart man starting a dynasty with him. Buckman said, how will they incorporate incoming freshmen? My friend has a kid attending Buffalo. So that's a good question, Buckman. And that kind of brings another point up, which I didn't have this pulled up. I'm slipping. I needed to have this one pulled up because there was one more point that kind of came out today, and it involves LSU. We talked a little about the stadiums there, but also they had some players that, had not opted in kind of unexpectedly. We had heard that a ton of players had opted in, and it sounds like a lot of theirs are freshmen or, incoming transfers and stuff. And I think in response to this, someone put out something that said pretty much once they enroll, they'll be able to opt in. So I know that they set like a deadline previously, but I think that was more or less to just kind of get everyone that's already on these universities so they could kind of get everything made for the base roster. But the thing is, they're going to put out roster updates for this game, probably weekly, bi-weekly, something like that, like they do for other games, Madden, 2K, and throughout the college football season. So players' ratings are going to fluctuate depending on what type of seasons they're having in real life. And they're also going to need to make changes to, represent stuff that will fluctuate, because sometimes people get pissed off once the season started and they may bolt, want to hit the portal. So you might have to remove them from the roster. And they have, too many people that opted in already, because they were expecting 11,000. They had like over 13,000, I think nearly 14. So there's other people that aren't going to be on the game because they're putting 85 players on each roster that, they could use to fill in once somebody bolts and things like that. And also, they may have some generic spots, holding over for, as you see, like on the screen here, LSU, 15 of their players that haven't enrolled are freshmen or transfers that haven't joined them yet. And so on the roster right now for the game, they may have generic, person in place for them. But once they enroll and opt in via, the app and stuff that they're using, they will be added, I'm sure, down the line. So I think that if you're a freshman, you haven't enrolled yet, maybe you're going to be enrolling next month, this month, whatever. Once you get on campus, I'd say, they probably just ask their coach or whatever, and they'll be able to tell them, what the app is. I can't remember the exact name of it. I think it's called Compass or something like that. It's the same app that they use for, their NIL deals and stuff. So it's not like it's really anything different. And there's just a certain thing they have to go to, and they opt into the game, and, EA will throw them on there because they're going to have roster updates and shit. So I think that everyone will be able to eventually get on. Now, having said that, there is that 85 limit. So some true freshmen may not necessarily get on if there's someone that's going to be redshirting or something. They may take that into account and not put them on because they're redshirting this season. You never know. It just depends. But I am excited that the roster limit's gone from, 70 on the previous games to 85 now on this one upcoming. That's pretty cool. Ashima says we got to get college basketball games next if this hits. I know, man. If this shit hits, it's something that everybody's been saying. It would be big. The only thing is, they're projecting, the sales to hopefully sell, like half of what Madden does. I'm hoping that the sales numbers blow them away to the point that they feel like, okay, maybe we could make a college basketball game profitable. But, Matt Brown's talked about this a lot in some of his interviews. Excuse me. But, he said that, even the thing was the last time when they were still making basketball games there towards the end, I know the last few were kind of shitty, kind of once it switched from March Madness to NCAA basketball, it kind of started going downhill a couple of years after that. But, they stopped making them before, because I think NCAA basketball 10 was the last one of those. So they stopped making those like 4 years before college football, not even because of the same reason that they stopped making the college football games, because of the lawsuits and, the NIL and before that came into effect and shit, but because of sales, really, they stopped making the college basketball game. So that's really a thing that's kind of prohibiting it more than I think sales. But if college football blows them away and stuff, you never know, because people have been talking about that. And man, I'd love to get on there and play a March Madness tournament again. That'd be fun as hell. Gordon Smith said, will you be starting a Dynasty in the game for us to watch? Yes, Gordon, probably so. I'm debating on which one I'm going to do as like kind of my streaming Dynasty, but I surely will do an offline one. If they do have the kind of the coach thing where you climb through the ranks and start as a coordinator, I'll probably do that one as my streaming Dynasty, where I just start off as a coach. So we'll have like JC, the coaching Dynasty, and then I'll probably do a JC Road to Glory as well. First name J, last name C, and we'll kind of roll with it on there. And that's kind of what I'm going to be streaming. But yeah, that's going to be up in all the live parts of it. So if you want to watch it live, you can catch it on Twitch. And then also I'm going to be documenting here, and I'll have kind of like a playlist for the Dynasty and for the Road to Glory, where I kind of go through and make smaller versions of the videos and kind of chop them up and edit them and upload them here to YouTube. So, you'll still get all the same content here on YouTube. Just in addition, you'll get the gameplay clips. But if you want to watch, kind of in its entirety, me play the games in their full length, all that shit, be sure to head over to the Twitch and follow me there, JC's Pop Culture. Because like I said, a couple months, what are we, month and couple weeks away now. So, before too long, I've been getting this ready in here. Like I said, got the PS5 in here now. Got the monitor right here beside my monitor for the PC. Got the capture card coming in. Once it gets in, might do some test streams with Madden and stuff. You might see those pop up on the Twitch here in, the next week or so, just trying to test the waters, get everything ready for July. But yeah, Gordon, I'll probably do a Dynasty here for everybody to watch and stuff. That'll be fun. Orlando said he's going to do WVU after he does Georgia Tech Dynasty. Hey, there you go. Taking my recommendation, Orlando. I think you'll have a lot of fun with that, man. I think you'll have fun with that. And, if you're somebody that's into playing online ranked, maybe give them a shot in some of that. I think they'll be pretty good, depending on how they rate the defense. Because our defense, wasn't the best last year. I think they're going to take a big step forward this year. But our offense was super explosive. And, I've seen them talking about, using PFF to kind of help with team playbooks and shit. I'm hoping that means that the ratings team used some PFF analytics and shit to help with the ratings, because WVU's players rated out pretty highly on PFF, especially my two favorite players, Jaheim White and Garrett Green. So, hopefully that means they'll have good ratings. JB, any news on postseason awards? Will we get the official awards like Doug Walker and Blitnikoff, or will that be generic? Those are going to be generic. The only one that's officially in is the Heisman, and then just day before yesterday, the Lou Groza is in. So, the kicker award's in, unless, another one of those breaks away and decides to hop in on their own, which I don't think is probably going to happen. But you never know. I wasn't expecting, any of them to. So the Lou Groza shit kind of surprised me as well. But it's probably going to be generic. Who knows if they'll go super generic and kind of do it like Madden and shit, where it's just like best QB, best wide running back, best wide receiver as the award names. I think it'd be cool if they went back and, did, since they're going to have, kind of the legends on there for Ultimate Team anyways, what if you just went back and named it after, a legend at each position? Like the quarterback could be, the Tebow Award, the running back be the Reggie Bush Award, on down the line, and do shit like that if you're not going to have the actual ones. That's what I think would be pretty cool, because it sounds like they're going to have to do some version of their own type of award, since those aren't going to be in. But at least we got the Heisman in. That's the main thing, right? So that's what I'm hyped about. Shima says, "Are you going to create a college football team?" A good point there. I could use, a team builder team for a dynasty on here as well. I'll have to think about that. I might do that actually. It'll either be a team builder dynasty, or running a coach up through the ranks. I'll have to decide on that. Depends on if I come up with a good team builder team I like or not. I've never really had an official team builder team that I run with every time, that I've made every year and shit. So maybe this will be the time that I finally find one that I like and, come up with on my own and shit. If I do, then maybe that'll be what I do. But yeah, I'm going to definitely, mess around with Team Builder when it releases there that first week of July, as it's kind of expected to. Yeah, it'd be nice to add all-time teams. I don't think we're going to get it on this first version, unfortunately, Ashima. I mean, they're going to have some of the legends on the Ultimate Team mode, but I think down the line, that could be something they add, classic rosters and shit. They just wanted to make sure, get the gameplay right, get the graphics, get all the main stuff right in this first version. And, they've talked about down the line, because this is something they're invested in making year to year now. That's when they'll be able to make those, nice improvements and add those little details that everybody wants to add that's not going to be a feature on this one, like, the real coaches, mascot mode, all-time teams, all-time rosters, maybe even FCS rosters down the line, co-op, cross-play dynasty, online dynasty and shit. All that's going to be coming, down the line, I think, for sure. Justin Kring says he's going to download North Dakota State when it drops. Hell yeah, I don't blame you there. That's FCS powerhouse. That'd be something fun too. Maybe I start a dynasty with the FCS squad. I've always kind of ended up doing that more so than playing with a team builder team of my own. Is I'll go on there on the servers and be like, damn, well, their shit's better than mine. End up downloading somebody else's and running with them and shit. So I'd like to be able to create my own and maybe run a dynasty with them and shit. But like I said, I've never been the best at it. So who knows? Kyle Rushing says, "Is there any more info on which players opted in? I would like to know which players on my Heels team opted in." As far as I know, I haven't heard anything about any UNC players that didn't opt in. So I think if so, we probably would have heard about that by now. But then again, that LSU shit that came out today was a bit of a surprise. So who knows? But I'd say you're probably pretty solidly set to have most of the players you expect to be there on there, especially your starters and stuff. Like I said, they're going to have 85 players on each roster, and they have by far enough players opted in to be able to do that. They were expecting 11,000 opt-ins. They had nearly 14,000. So there's plenty of guys that have opted in. So I think you'll have probably all your main faces there on the Heels roster, which, hey, shout out to the Heels. I got a UNC flag right here beside me. I don't really follow my football. I'm a UNC basketball fan, WVU fan in football, but, I still respect it. Got to respect it. I know, Orlando. Isn't that exciting? Getting college football yearly now. That's super exciting. Jay Hopkins said they had another award, not just Heisman. Yeah, it's the Lou Groza Award that goes to the kicker. I announced that on our last stream here as well. night before last. I don't know if I was the one you saw it on or not, but definitely, yeah, the Lou Groza Award's in as well. What my comment was, does that mean that you'll be able to be a kicker in Road to Glory? Does that confirm that shit? Which I was just kidding. Definitely don't think it confirms that. Probably something that's not going to be involved still yet, but maybe another thing that's involved down the line. I know that's something people have talked about, is being able to be, some different positions in Road to Glory that you never could have before. But yeah, the Lou Groza Award's in as well. Appreciate you guys, man, being active in here. Give you guys, a few more minutes. Throw your final comments in there, because I got about a 3-minute clip here I'm going to share. Kirk Herbstreit talking a little bit about the game on the Pat McAfee show. If you guys haven't seen this, I'm going to share this real quick. Excuse me if I can get that out right. But as I do, go ahead, throw any final questions, comments, anything you got there in the chat. Catch up on those one more time, and then we'll get ready to wrap this thing up here.
Let's talk college football. A lot of news came out about the debut of the new game, which is highly anticipated for decades now at this point.
Yeah, like 10 years.
At this point, people have been waiting for this. You guys have all been releasing footage. Is that Matt Garrett?
No. Go ahead.
All right, I will. You, Reese, Chris, Pollock, I believe. Who else? Voiceovers in a video game that we've seen. I think Jesse Palmer's in there.
Yep.
We've all seen video of the voiceovers that's been taking place. Reese put on here that it's been, I forget how many, 250 hours or something like that of voicing over and having to call it. And I know from like Michael Cole's experience with WWE 2K, like he has to continue to call and have to call every situation that could potentially come up. I assume you guys have been doing this for a while now. How long have you been eagerly awaiting the release of this new game? And how long have you been working on this whole thing? And how do you think it's going to go? Have you seen it at all?
I've not seen it yet, other than what they released the other day. But I've talked with them. I'm trying to understand the difference between, let's say, Madden. Everybody's played Madden over the years, and the college game. For me, the college game was always very different because of, I thought it's always done a really good job of capturing, like you see here, with what they released, the traditions of the sport, the uniforms, the marching bands, the stadiums, just all of it. So I think they're taking that to another level. After 10 years of being out and coming back, I think the graphics will blow people away from everything I've been told. I think if you go back to when Madden really started to take off, John Madden got very involved in that video game of his. And I think his game really impacted how games are broadcasted. The views you get, that sky cam behind the quarterback, that really was a cool look that I think initially we saw in Madden, and then I think it developed into the college game. Now we see it every Saturday and Sunday when we watch games. I reached out to EA because I wanted to be able to say something because they've been tight-lipped on a lot of the stuff, and they continue to be. They said one of the cool things about this year with the 12-team college football playoff, that format, this game will be out months before the season actually starts. And while we're all trying to adjust to realignment, think about the Pac-12's gone, Stanford and Cal and the ACC, what's going on in the Big Ten, what's going on in the Big 12, the SEC getting Texas and Oklahoma. And there's just so much change going on that they're feeling that this, in a monumentally different year of the sport, that this game and the new rules with the bracket and who gets a bye, all those kind of things. By the time people play this game, they think it'll really help them adjust to the season and what to expect in the season just by playing the game and that type of stuff.
All right. So pretty cool stuff yet again from Kirk Herbstreit. Talking about the graphics blowing people away. But, interesting comment at the end and shit I thought is kind of getting, a good thing is like this is going to get us, kind of ready for the new rule changes coming in, 2-minute warning, all the different shit that they're adding to, college football. We'll get to experience it already on the game, which is pretty cool. And even in some cases, see some uniforms that teams haven't revealed yet. Like I was, talking about WVUs. I showed them on the revamped game. Hopefully get to see them on this one. We talked about Vandy Stadium's not even being finished being built yet. Going to get to see it on the game before then. So you getting to get to see, Texas and Oklahoma in the SEC before it happens in real life. So a lot of cool shit, that we haven't even thought about that we're getting to see before it happens in real life with this game. Not only is it the return of something we've been waiting on for a decade plus, but really a lot of cool shit involved with that as well. What else we got here? I know I saw another. There's Orlando. I hope we can use crossplay for custom playbooks created by other users. Oh, interesting. I haven't even thought about that. Being able to download all the custom playbooks and stuff like in the past. I would hope so. It kind of seems like everything is crossplay just except online Dynasty. So I would think that would be able to be done if you're able to you can play ranked matches or whatever against crossplay, and then you can play the Road to the College Football Playoff game mode crossplay. So you would think you'd be able to download from other servers as well. And Ashima says, will College Football 25 have my career story like 2K one day? I hope so. I mean, there is Road to Glory, and it is, kind of going to be a little bit different than how it is, on 14. It's kind of going back to some of the original versions, it sounds like, by the descriptions. We'll find out for sure in, the near future, but definitely seems like it's kind of going to go back to where you have to worry about your GPA and shit. So there's definitely, a bit of a career mode. It's not the same as 2K. It's definitely a little bit different, but who knows if they'll ever kind of go that way and make it to where it's like more online involved with the Road to Glory and shit. It could be something they add down the line. Like I said, once they get this base game out, get this game, all good. That's kind of their main thing. Want to make sure they have no bugs, make sure everything's good with this one. And then down the lines, when you start to see, really, I think in-depth stuff where they'll add even more to those game modes with, the new age capabilities, with the ability to maybe even make it an online Road to Glory. Because think about how cool that would be if you had online Road to Glory mode to where it did function kind of like 2K's career mode, and you could go and, play online with other people and stuff like that. It would be pretty cool. You never know. You never know for sure. But I appreciate all you guys that hopped in here, watched this live. If you watch it live or if you watched it after the fact and on playback, before you head out, just do me a quick favor, hit the little thumbs up button. Really helps a shit ton with that YouTube algorithm. If you tuned in on Twitch by chance, I did stream this on Twitch as well. Just trying to, get some people comfortable with going over there and following the Twitch channel, because I'm going to be starting to stream the game when it comes out there, College Football 25. So head over to Twitch, follow me. Same as YouTube here. It's just JC's Pop Culture. I linked it in the chat here if you're in here live. But if you are watching on playback, you're a fan of EA Sports College Football, or you're a fan of movies and TV shows, I talk about those shit down here as well, especially horror, comedy, and superheroes. Be sure to hop along for the ride here by hitting that subscribe button. If you didn't get a chance to chat here live, throw your thoughts in the comments. Everybody that did chat here live, really appreciate you guys. As always, hope y'all have a good night, and be back hopefully in the next few days. Like I said, when more of this news comes out, in regards to all these people that got to play the game, should be a shit ton of it coming out in the next few days, guys. Really excited about it. Looking forward to it. Appreciate you guys tuning in this one, and I'll catch you on the next one.